Hey, what is going on, Facebook? It's your boy coming at you live tonight. Fired up and excited as usual. Wanted to come to you and talk to you a little bit tonight about something that is important to myself, to my family, and really kind of demystify a little bit of some of the hype that we have around our industry and our space by just simply having a conversation about what I like to call your freedom number. So, long story short, yesterday we had an incredible presentation that went. It really was an event. It wasn't a presentation. It was an event that took place all day yesterday for about 6 hours on 4th of July. The event was called Freedom Ain't Free, and it was absolutely powerful. So if you had a chance to see that, um, congratulations to you. And if you didn't have a chance to see that, then it is definitely something that would be worth scrolling through my particular page and actually looking at. It was an incredibly powerful event. Now, one of the cool things about the event is that I was not only the host, but I actually got to do a small presentation right before we brought on our featured presenters, and I got a lot of feedback on that. And people had an interest in really taking a deeper dive into what we were talking about. And so that's going to be the genesis of tonight's conversation. So I'm not going to give you all of the backstory because you could watch the event that took place yesterday, and that'll kind of give you some of that. But what I am going to dive into tonight is sort of how to create a freedom number. And so, very before we get going, before we start, first of all, just let you know that I am a dad, a full-time single dad. My daughter's here. She's talking to her mom, and she's excited. So if she's in a little bit in the background, that's great because we love to keep our family unit as tight as possible. So, but with that going on, that won't go on forever. So we're going to continue, giving you guys this information. So, what do we consider a freedom number? So, for us, one of the things that I have found in my journey in the Forex space, and a lot of people are really on the sidelines right now about Forex because they don't really understand it, and they're they have been unwilling up to this point to really get any information. And so they're basing it off of an assumption or hearsay or things of this nature. And so it keeps a lot of people very nervous about the markets. As a matter of fact, I think in general, the perception of the markets, period, whether it's the stock market, Forex market, or whatever, is that if you try to do it on your own, you're going to lose money. And so even with some of these apps like Robinhood and some of these other things that allow you to get fractional shares of stocks, and people just really feel like they don't have enough education. They don't know what they're doing. And so what we wanted to do was sort of, one, demystify that process, but two, actually cut through the hype, right? Because when you look at our industry of Forex, there can be tremendous wealth created. Okay, there can be tremendous wealth created. We have people in our academy, and again, let me just set this as a disclaimer that past results don't guarantee future profits. That Forex is a risk, that we're all grown up and adults, and we understand that. The beautiful thing is that you're trading your own money and you're trading at your own risk. What our academy does is provide an education to help you mitigate that risk, because with information and knowledge, you can make better decisions, right? And so with that being said, we have people in our academy who have gone on in a very short period of time and taken small accounts and grown it to 7 figures and above, even 8 figures. We have traders that started with moderate accounts and have grown that to 7 figures. We have people that have grown an account from 50, $100, $20, something like that, and grown it to $1,000 or $2,000 over a year, which is an incredible return on investment. And then we also have people who have not had a tremendous amount of success yet, but they're plugging into the academy, learning on a regular basis. And then we have people who thought that they were getting involved in a lottery ticket, and they probably haven't had very much success at all. Because if you have a lottery ticket mentality, then Forex isn't for you. You know, this is not gambling, okay? This is not a scratch off. You're not gonna hit one trade and change your life. And so what I like to do on this type of session when we're talking about developing a freedom number is I like to cut through all that crap, okay? Forex is powerful because of compound interest, because of the entry point that it allows you to have into the marketplace, because of the fact that you do not have to be a person that comes from incredible means in order for your trades to really make a difference on what your lifestyle will be going forward in the future. But you have to understand that if you have a vehicle that involves something like compound interest in terms of creating wealth, then you're also going to want to be able to divide that by time, right? And so the more time and patience you can give to your trading journey, the more likely it is that on the other end, you'll come out successful. Now, the beautiful part about this is that for many years, I have participated in our industry of network marketing. So there is a network marketing component attached to our company. And for many years, you know, we had to debunk the idea oftentimes that you were joining a get rich quick scheme. See, the reason why most people fail in network marketing, the reason why most people think it's a scam is because when they joined, someone overhyped the opportunity and they thought that if I find two people, I'm going to get rich, right? They thought if I just join this company, I'm going to get rich. And that's not the case. Every type of business on planet Earth requires work and effort to grow it. In fact, I learned a long time ago from a man by the name of Wayne Callender that the only place that results comes before work is in the dictionary, right? So you have to put the work in on the business side of network marketing. But what happens here is when people join into our company because it's trading and they can see that they were able to turn a penny into maybe $5 in their first successful trade, and all of a sudden the timeline of work before results gets shortened. It somehow gets them believing that, oh my God, I'm going to be rich tomorrow. And I even fell victim to this. And so I love having this conversation to sort of manage and set the expectations correctly. You know, if you were able to get involved with anything that would allow you to go from, you know, $100 to 100,000 in 3 years, you would be fired up in any other place in the world. But now when we come to trading, people are like, oh no, that's too long. Wait, what are you talking about, right? Like, and so I like to be able to get people the proper expectations. And what that proper expectation is simply this, like I was saying, is that in my career, I've been fighting the idea that this is a get rich quick scheme. This isn't a get rich quick scheme. It's not that type of thing, because you're always wanting to mitigate the idea that it's a scam in people's heads and this and that. Well, here, for the first time in my life, I'm telling you that this is a get rich quick scheme, okay? And by get rich quick, I mean that if you get involved in trading, you educate yourself, you take a couple trades a day, you get in 2, 3, 1%, whatever growth it is on your account, and you do that consistently from now over the next 3 to 5 years, you will be incredibly wealthy. And anytime you can transfer a starting balance of under $1,000 to incredible wealth over a 5-year period, that is a get rich quick scheme. Because most people have no opportunity in their life to do anything of the sort. Most people are going to look for opportunity, but the moment challenge strikes them, they're going to fall back to what they know. And so that's what happens. That's why every time you're making a step forward and you try to advance yourself, and and you come in to say, maybe before someone told you about coffee and you joined up, or someone joined, and what happens is you join, but then the challenges of life don't stop just because you became an entrepreneur. And so what happens is when the challenge hits, rather than focus on the new skill set that you're developing, rather than focus on the solution, your natural inclination as a human is to fall back and focus on what you know, to compress, to pull your circle tighter so that you can defend against the world and what's happening, right? And so what you do is you begin to go to what you know. You know what? I know I need money real quick. You know what? I'll drive Uber. You know what? I need money real quick. I'll go get a second job. I'll do overtime. And you put the solution to the side, because the solution is not an overnight thing. It's a process. And what happens to most people, and it happened to me, I'm speaking from experience, okay? If you talk to a lot of people who know me, and they would say, oh my God, you must be a seven-figure earner already in network marketing. And the fact of the matter is I wasn't. I'm not. I'm on my way, but I'm not, okay? I will get there, okay? But the reason was, the biggest reason is because when it took me a while to figure this out, is that when the challenge happened, oftentimes you don't want to bring negativity into your wealth circle, into your wealth community. And so what happens is you do fall back and you focus on the problem. You focus on fixing that $200 problem, that $400 problem, that $1,000 problem, or whatever it is. And through the course of fixing it, you have now derailed your momentum, which you had already built up. You had spent 2, 3, 4 months building momentum, and now you spent 4 months and all of that momentum has died. And what happens then is that as you focused over here, because you went back to the only thing you knew instead of focusing on the solution, your momentum dies, and it's hard to continue to restart and continue to rebuild. And most people lose the energy, they lose the vision, they lose the faith because of the restart, the up and down, the yo-yo of it all. And so what I got excited about by talking to you about this freedom number is how we can cut through that, how we can get you guys focused, whether you believe in the network marketing part or you believe in just the trading part, of how we can get you focused in, and how we can demystify all of the crap of Forex. We can take it out of the ethereal. We can begin to make it real, and we don't have to hype it. I don't have to hype this because it's based off math, okay? And so for me, this is a powerful, powerful, powerful ability to be able to add this to a trading plan, which brings me to my next point. If you're going to trade, you should have some kind of trading plan. See, folks, I know a lot of y'all are seeing all these Forex things now, and people are marketing Forex to you, and you think we're just hopping in the market, going all willy-nilly. Maybe some people are, but that's not Legacy Worldwide. Legacy Worldwide, we have competent traders. We have people like Lillian Okado out of Kenya, who, if you missed yesterday, broke down how to develop a trading plan in such a masterful, concise way. I mean, what a beautiful gift for a new trader. Unfortunately for me, I didn't have that information when I first got started. And she was able to put it this, a step-by-step, what you need to do to develop a plan of action in order to go into the market and activate your money as soldiers on your behalf, so that they could go out and they could conquer the battle of poverty. They could conquer the battle of debt. They could conquer the battle, and they could come back victorious and bring you back more than what you had when you started. See, you needed a plan for that. Just like a general, when they go to war, they have a plan. You needed a plan. She constructed for you how to put that plan together. She also was able to identify for you the mental pitfalls that take place and how to mitigate the mental risk of trading through educating yourself the proper way. What an unbelievable gift that we provided for you yesterday. I wish I would have had it when I started out. I had to figure these things out on my own. A lot of us did, because when we first came into this, we had no background. Most of us had no experience. We didn't know anything about trading. I couldn't even read the chart. It looked like an EKG machine. It was scary. It was frustrating. I didn't know. And 18 months later, not only had I developed my own strategy at one point in time, right? Not only can I read the charts, not only have I been able to have the benefit of being able to call signals for hundreds of people, to offer some trade ideas, not only have I done all of these types of things, but now I can competently go into the market and I can say, I understand where the market in general is headed, and I can potentially profit from the market in different places. And because of that, now I need to have a plan of action in order to really capitalize on the market. So with that came is, what is our freedom number? See, when I began to go back to the people within my organization, within my wealth community, what happens when you come in, you start to see successful traders. You start to see examples of success. And oftentimes what you do is you attach your vision to the vision of a successful trader. It's natural. They have fruit on the tree. You've been a good fruit inspector. You say they're making 7 figures. I want to make 7 figures. Boom, that becomes your goal. And you start working towards it. And that long-term vision is a critical process in your growth as a trader. To be able to say, I want to become a 6-figure trader, to write it down, to put it on your vision board, to see it every day, to talk about it. It becomes real. It's important. I need to go to a 7-figure trader. I want to do this. I want to save up in an account to have rental property and investment property and all those different types of things. But see, what happens is the other factor that impacts the time that it's going to take you to grow yourself as a trader is also the fact that for most of us, we have a major obligation of time commitment every single week that is focused in on what? Work, our jobs, where we have to go to work every day. We have to put in 8-10 hours a day. We have to take time commuting to and from. We have to decompress from the stress of going to work, right? Then we have to come home, and then we still have family obligations, and we have stuff. And so our time becomes a challenge, okay? And so if you're sitting here right now and you're like, yeah, that's probably why I haven't started Forex, let me just tell you that the Academy has workarounds for that. We have already found a solution to help you move beyond that problem, because what we have done is we have taken the best educators that we have, the best strategies that we have, and we have been able to take them and we've been able to create apps. We've been able to program them and code them so that the app mimics the strategy of our most successful traders, and it scans the market on your behalf without you having to stay in front of a chart, without you having to sit there and look at it. It scans the market on your behalf all day, 24 hours a day. And when the market meets the criteria of the favorite strategy that you use, the one that you make the most money off of, it actually sends an alert to you. So that right there works around how you can earn money while you still have all of these other obligations. So that's a workaround. We found a solution. See, you didn't know that because most of you guys didn't take the time to educate yourself. You said, I don't have time to trade. You're right. You don't have time to waste by not trading, but you do have time to trade because we found the workaround in order to make sure that you can still be productive in the trading space, the workspace, and the family space. But then on top of that, though, we also put in the education piece, which allows you to work around it also. How? Because the videos that we have in the Academy, when you go into the Forex Academy, when you go into the HFX Academy, when you go into the Digital Currency Academy, the videos that are going to teach you, that are going to give you those foundational bricks and nuggets, right? Those videos are cut down to 4, 8 minutes, 7 minutes, 6, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And so you can begin to piece an educational experience completely around, you can customize it around the actual time that you have. You cannot tell me that you don't have 30 minutes at night before you go to bed to educate yourself about money so that you can no longer have the financial challenges that your family has been going through for the past 3 generations. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that you can't wake up 20 minutes earlier so that you can pop in and get 3 videos out the way so that you can educate yourself. See, we found a way, because it's not the structured class. This is not the University of Phoenix where you have to sign up and you do an online course. I remember my ex-wife, she enrolled in online universities multiple times and never, like the one that she's in right now, she never talked to the professor. The professor don't give no lesson. It's like read it on your own, and then you can ask the professor, and then occasionally you guys do a little chat group. And this is supposed to give her a degree, a degree in some subject. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So here's what happens is we've been able to tailor make this using the most cutting edge, the most cutting edge technology when it comes to education, the cutting edge trends on how education is being maximized to help people learn. We've been able to apply that to understanding money. So again, another workaround for those of you who don't have time. We figured out how to make it so that what is normally a $50,000 course, what's normally a $20,000 course, what's normally super expensive, we figured out a way to make it so that it's absolutely affordable for the everyday average person. In fact, there are people from emerging markets and developing markets all over the world who are active members of our academy. You can't tell me if you're in the United States that you can't afford it. You can't afford not to afford it. Okay, and so we've gotten all of those workarounds. For $235, you can educate yourself. That's less than 1 credit hour at a community college, let alone a 4-year institution. And you can begin to start the process of mastering money. Okay, absolutely unbelievable. You can begin to start the process of mastering money. Whether you're 18, whether you're 80, it doesn't matter. This is the #1 skill set that you're going to need for your life, because it's the one skill set that you're going to use every single day for the rest of your life, no matter what. You will touch money in some way. So it's important for you to understand it. It's important for you to maximize it. It's important for you to take care of it. It's important for you to cultivate it. It's important for you to multiply it and grow it. It's important for you to protect it. It's important for you to understand how money works, why the banking system works the way it does, what is digital currency, where's money going. And so we've been able to do that and put that together in a way in which you can understand it around your schedule and for a price that's absolutely unbeatable. The reason why we're able to do the price like that is because what should have happened when things like the University of Phoenix and all of these other things came into play is that it should have drove the cost of your education down, but education is big business. And so people didn't want to drive the cost of the education. They just wanted to create a convenience platform for those of you who couldn't get to the physical location of the campus. And so they continued to charge you. In some cases, I remember when the University of Phoenix first came out, it was literally more expensive than my local college degree. But the reason why, right, it should be less expensive is because if I move online, I don't need the physical campus. So what we've been able to do is we've been able to take technology, we've been able to say, hey, listen, if we don't have to have a physical building, a physical campus of 10,000 acres for students to come onto and do all this type of stuff, if we can put it in the cloud, if we can record and teach lessons that will give them the foundation, and then we can find the best educators that can go live and they can do it right from their home, and we can begin to do this, and all of a sudden, we've created a more powerful, more robust, more comprehensive educational experience for a fraction of the cost, because we've been utilizing technology as our friend rather than utilizing technology in order to penalize you just because you couldn't go to a regular campus. That's what we've done, folks. That's what we've done. And so that to me got me super excited, the whole process, the whole workaround. But now if you take all of what I just said and then you combine it with a plan, now you have something serious. Now you have something serious. If you're saying to me, I don't know how to work this plan, Andre, I don't understand exactly what to do. Well, guess what? We've got a workaround for that too. That's called our wealth community. That's our family. That's our wealth conversation. See, the foreign exchange market, the digital currency market, which is cryptocurrency, things of that nature, the HFX market, which is binary options, which by the way allows you to trade a myriad of different things, is so large that there's no one person, there's not one of us that can control all of it. Like we can't have a majority market share. It's so large. It's $6 to almost $7 trillion a day being traded. A day, not a year, a day. And so because the market is so long, or so large, excuse me, what you have is you have a community of people who says, hey, listen, I can't get it all. And because I can't get it all, none of you are my competition. I can go in and extract exactly what I need for my family, for my goals, for my vision, no matter how big it is. I can go get what I need, and I can still be a person of good, high moral character and teach you how to do the same thing, because it's not going to impact whether or not I get mine. See, if I open a burger joint, if I open a store, I can't give you the secret sauce, because if I do, you immediately become my competition. Now, I can give you some of it because you might not be able to execute like I can. But here, literally, this community says, hey, listen, we welcome you in. Hey, listen, you're one of us. You're a dreamer. You're a visionary. You want more out of your life. You say, hey, listen, I'm not going to stay stagnant. I'm going to grow. I'm going to develop. See, that's the criteria for entry. We didn't ask for your educational background. We didn't ask what your race was. We didn't ask whether you were a teenage mother. We didn't ask where you were unwed mother. We didn't ask you what your sexual orientation was. We didn't ask you, right? We didn't ask you anything. The criteria for joining the community is you want more out of life. And if that's you, then you get welcome to the club. Welcome to the family. Welcome. Let's work together. Let's figure out a way in which we can help you get what you want. And so for most of us, if we can eliminate the time component that is work, that is the commitment to the job, it will allow us to get out of the space of doing what we have to do to survive and allow us to get into what we want to do so that we can thrive. Does that make sense? It'll allow us to get out of what we have to do to survive so that we can get into what we want to do to thrive, to grow, to impact. You know, one of the things that I've had in my career, and also as I've gone around the country traveling and lecturing at colleges and universities all over, one of the things that I can say from the bottom of my heart is that people are so much more altruistic than they are not. Most people, when I go and I ask them, if I told you, and if I say to them, if I told you that I had $100 million and I was going to spend it on you, what would you do? And beyond I would love to take a vacation, I'd love to maybe upgrade my house. Almost everybody that I've talked to over the last 15 years, the number one thing that they would want to do is create something that would help other people. Right? And so what that let me know for most of them is that what they're doing to survive is not what they're doing for their passion. Most people aren't passionate about, well, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Most people are not passionate about their job. There's a handful of people who have figured out how to make a living at what they're passionate about. Most people take their job because it's what they have to do. And most people took their job because someone said, hey, listen, my company's hiring. Let's be honest. And then they went to the job and the job said, the job asked them what they wanted per hour and then told them what they was going to give them per hour. And they just said, okay, that's great. Right? They didn't ask how much the boss is making. They didn't ask how much the company's doing. They didn't research the company to do. They didn't do none of that stuff. And what's amazing to me in my career is that when I come to them and I say, hey, let me help you, let me show you, let me do what tell me about your company. Tell me about this. Tell me about all that. Like all of a sudden, they're like business forensic detectives, and they don't know anything about business. It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me. In fact, they won't even listen to the proper people who know about business. They're gonna go ahead and go listen to some dude off the internet named Paul they ain't ever met, John, something like that. They don't even know, right? Can't even have a conversation with them. Ain't even a friend with them. And here I can say, well, listen, our company or the company or whatever company I've been involved in the past, not only have they been, not only has the FTC checked them out, not only has this checked them out, like all these actual business things, but they have partnerships with this company and this company. And, these are huge mega brands throughout the world that have legal departments of the best legal teams and legal minds in the world. Like if you're $1 billion company, you don't partner with another company just randomly. There's like a legal team that goes through and checks and audits and does all kinds of stuff to make sure that the other company is legit, because you would never risk your brand in order to partner with that other brand. And then I got people talking to me Pete on the internet says, who the hell is Pete? So anyway, long story short, that's just a little frustration of mine because people don't even know how to analyze a business, but then they come to you and talk about stuff. But anyway, let's get back to it. So what we want to do is have a plan, and we want to create our freedom number. So our academy is special, folks, because it knocks out basically all of your excuses. It mitigates the risk. It gives you knowledge. It teaches you about time, the fact that it's going to take time to do this. It doesn't have you teaching that as a lottery ticket. You've got mentorship. You've got help. You've got understanding along the way, and you've got a community of people that is absolutely incredible. But let me get to what we're going to talk about tonight is adding the actual freedom number to your plan. Getting it away from the arbitrary part, getting it away from, I'd like to make 6 figures, I'd like to make 7 figures. That big, massive goal is important. As I said before, we should have it. We should have a target on it. We should have an idea of when we're going to get there. But what I want you guys to do is be able to get to the point where you can free yourself, where you can have the option, if you will, to either decide to walk away from your job so you can buy your life back. Let me say that again because I want you to understand. See, you can buy your life back. See, money is an incredible tool. Money's not evil. It's just a tool. You can buy your life back. If right now your salary is $37,000 per year, and you can go into the market and you can extract $50,000 per year, you now have a choice of whether or not you want to continue to go to your job. You can buy that 50 hours a week back by getting into the market and being able to extract the right amount out. You can buy your life back. You can begin to buy time back. You can say, you know what, if I had the right thing, if I'm more productive by spending an hour in the market than I am by spending an hour mowing my own grass, I can go into the market, extract $100 in an hour, and it's going to cost me $20 an hour for someone to grow my mow my grass. I need to spend, intelligence-wise, I need to pay the guy the $20 so I can buy the hour back, because the hour is going to make me more money. The hour is going to make me more money. The more money I accumulate, the more free I get. The more free I get, the more time I get to do things like spend with my family, travel, altruistic needs, to take care of in spiritual life, church, health. I got time to work out. Like, what happens here by getting your freedom number is we're taking away the rest of the excuses. See, because right now, most of y'all, I hope you understood that time for most of you was not your issue, because most of you guys said, I would work out if I had more time. And then the last couple months hit and you were at home and no one worked out, right? Like, you know, look, I'm me, right? So what told me was time wasn't the reason why I wasn't working out. It was my discipline that was the reason why I wasn't working out. But if I have more time, if I can create more time for you by allowing you to buy your life back, then it allows you the opportunity to mentally decompress so that you can get into the disciplines that will propel you to where you want to go in life. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share a whiteboard. Let me go ahead real quick and check and see. I can't see Facebook right now. I don't know if we have any comments or anything. Let me see here. Check real quick. Okay, boom. Here we go. Not really anything there. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Here's how we create our freedom number. So what I did with my team is I said, hey, listen, I realize that those big goals are something that you want to achieve and they make a lot of sense. I said, but we need to actually get something down more tangible, something that you can focus on, something that you can have a sniper target that will allow you to have the ability to walk away from wherever it is that you want. And so the first thing that we did was I asked them, what do they need to make financially, money-wise, per week in order to give them freedom? Now, I'm not talking about being completely debt-free and all that type of stuff yet. We're going to get there. But what I'm talking about is that it would basically give you choices. So if we took away the word freedom and we said it would give you the choice, it would give you the peace of mind that if there's a new spike in the health crisis that's hitting America or the world, right? If there's a spike in that and they said, hey, listen, thank you for your service right now, but our company is going to have to contract, and you weren't able to continue earning income, what would this be able to replace it? Would this, in other words, it would give you the choice to walk away if you wanted to, or it would give you the choice to hedge against the things that are going on in the economy, right? It would give you the choice. So once you have that total, so let's just say that total is $1,000 per week, right? The average income in America is $52,000 a year, roughly, per household. So it's $1,000 per week. And so what we wanted to do then is we wanted to double it. We wanted to give ourselves some cushion, okay? We wanted to give ourselves some cushion. And so that total would now be $2,000, okay? You're gonna put whatever numbers work for you, okay? Whatever numbers work for you, and I'm gonna show you how to do this using a compound calculator, okay? So now we have $2,000, okay? And so what we did is I also had another component. See, in order for you to really feel comfortable being free or walking into freedom, you also have to mentally prepare yourself for freedom. You ever seen lottery winners blow everything and end up more miserable than before they went in, or whatever? If I gave you whatever that total was for you right now, oftentimes you wouldn't be able to trade it. You wouldn't be able to trade it. You would blow it, or you would trade too small of an amount because you'd be too scared to trade it. Like, there's so many things that go into the idea of walking into freedom. The discipline, remember? I said, hey, listen, I've had a whole bunch of time. My daughter was gone for 3 months. I only worked out a handful of times. It wasn't time, it was discipline. So developing the discipline, the habit, the consistency, the skill set, the confidence that you can walk into freedom is so important. So what we did is we said that we wanted to identify an amount of pips that you would be able to get per week consistently in order to pair with your freedom number, so that once you got there, you would be able to walk into freedom safely. And so we identified that number as 200 pips, which basically means that on an average day, you would be able to go into the market 5 days a week and extract 50 pips per day, and that would give you 200 pips per week. Now, some of my trading family is on here laughing and scoffing at the idea of 50 pips a day because they get a lot more than that. But what I wanted was something that was attainable, that you could go into and that you knew that you could do consistently, that you could develop the confidence around, that you could make sure that you hit this goal. So in this case, that means that if I wanted to get a $2,000 a week, I need to figure out what lot size will get me there times 200 pips. You see that? So since 200 pips is our goal, I needed a lot size that would match that. If I got that and I did 200 pips, it would equal this. So in this particular example, this is an example, that means my lot size would be 1.00, or $1 for most of you, okay? So $1 times 200 pips would equal, times 200 pips would equal roughly, depending on the exact currency pairs that you traded, $2,000, okay? And so that now became my criteria. That's how I came about developing the idea of the freedom number, but that's not the actual freedom number. That's the lot size that will allow me to consistently trade the amount that will allow me to take the $1,000 that I need. This is all you need. Allow me to take the $1,000 I need out of the market and still allow my account to grow by $1,000 per week, okay? Now watch this. This is where it got really powerful. So that means for me, if I know that my lot size is $1, and I know that the Academy teaches us to trade 1 cent per $100 that we have in the market. That means for me to safely and responsibly trade a dollar lot size, I effectively need a $10,000 account. Okay? I need a $10,000 account. 1 cent per $100, I need a $10,000 account. My freedom number in this scenario became $10,000 in my account. That's my freedom number. Why? Because if I grow this over time, I compound my account, I mentally prepare myself. Now, once I get here, I can now be to the point where I can extract twice the amount that I need out of the market every single week. How confident are you going to be? Now, folks, when I show you how this all works, it is all based off math. There's no hype. Okay? My mother drove this into my head. I don't know why she did it when I was a kid, because math wasn't necessarily her forte, but she drove it into my head as a child. She said, Galileo says that mathematics is the language in which God wrote the universe. This right here is a universal compound interest. Einstein called it one of the wonders of the world. What I'm about to show you is going to be amazing what you can do. Most of you have no idea how close to freedom you really are. How close to freedom you really are if you would just plug into our community. For most people, this example that I just showed them would allow them to have freedom. Now, there's people who make more than that, and I understand that, but they would also probably have a little bit more disposable income so that when they start their freedom journey, their freedom number journey, they might start with a larger account size. So it's all relative. It's all relative. You are literally a handful of months away from this process, okay? So here's what happens is you're sitting here, you figured it out, you now know your number, you know what to do. Okay, I need $10,000 in my account. I need to get to a dollar lot size. Now I need to figure out how to grow that. Now here's the thing. When you first get there, now here's where the rest of your community comes into play. I'm gonna go ahead and clear my screen and move on over to, if you guys could, well, you can't screenshot that really, but anyway, sorry, I'm talking to Zoom, not you guys here. So here's what happens. When you do that, right? When you first get there, now here's what's gonna happen. Now I want you guys to utilize your trading family, your trading community. Because see, in your trading community, there are people who are free financially. There are people who have already done this process, who have already completed it. And so now that you have the income potential, the knowledge and skill, the confidence to know that you can do it every week, now that you have that account balance, continue to trade it. But now you need to get with someone who's trusted within your freedom circle, who's trusted within your wealth community. And you need to say, here's my debt, here's this, here's that, here's this stuff. And you can maybe do this before so that you're doing the two at the same time. And you can now say, hey, listen, is it okay? Is it safe if I can continue to do this based on my debt, based off the other things that I have, all the other projects that I got working on? Is it safe now? Because I can prove to you, I've proven it over 6 months that I can do this consistently. Is it safe to now walk away? Conversation with your spouses. You can say to your spouses, hey, listen, I've proven to you by growing this account over the last 6-7 months that I have been able to consistently do this. I've developed the habit. I have a mentor who I've talked to who's created my debt snowball, helped me reduce my debt. They say that it's safe for me to walk away. Are you comfortable, honey? Are you comfortable with me walking away from the job and whatever that is? Because we do have the security of now knowing how to do it. See, this enables you to have conversations, real conversations, because you're basing it off math, you're basing it off data, you're basing it off what you have proven that you're able to accomplish. It's absolutely amazing, right? And I'm still on my freedom number journey. I can't wait. I'm so excited. It's coming close, right? And so here's the thing. Here's the thing. What I wanted to be able to do is show you this now. So now watch this. I want you to come here. I want you to, if you guys can see it, I can't put it out there now, but let's see. It's called not whiteboard. I don't want that. Get out of here. Let me go back. Crud. Let me go back. What you want is that compounddaily.org, and you want to go to their compound interest calculator, okay? compounddaily.org/calculator. And now you're going to go here and see their compound interest calculator. And I want to show you something, folks. I want to show you what I'm outlining for you right now is a literal game plan, a literal plan of action for you to have a tangible number, which will allow you to have the choice to decide what you want to do going forward with your life. Oh my God. I hope y'all get the power of what I'm sharing with you. I hope y'all understand it. So here's the thing. What happens here is you're going to take your initial trading balance. I don't care what that is, whatever you have to start with, but let's make it something reasonable. You say you got an account, you're going to start an account with a broker for $200. Now let me make something clear. The Academy never touches your money. I never touch your money. If you're working with me, none of the people that you would work with within our family ever touch your money. Your money is between you and your broker. And whoever your broker is that you decide to use, I recommend one with low spreads and low fees, but you can decide who you want to have as a broker. And that's the relationship that you have. That's between you and them. No one touches your money. No one sees your balance. No, it's between you and them. Okay. So let's just say that this is an average of what most people are willing to commit to the market when they first get started. And so what you're going to do when you first get started is you're going to have basically a goal in your Freedom account. Now, with your Freedom account, initially, you are not going to take your own trades because you don't know how to trade yet. So you can start this Freedom account like early on, like as soon as you get involved in the Academy. I wish I would have known this, folks. I wasted over a year doing all kinds of crazy stuff because I was just hard-headed, okay? But if you will just allow the Academy and allow the educators and allow the products that we have that have such a high success rate to help you grow your account, oh my God, the head start that you're going to get is unbelievable. So we're going to say that you start with $200 and your goal is just going to be to grow that by 15% per week. Now, in the regular world, that is an aggressive goal. Okay, if you look at regular trading at the commercial level where they're trading billions of dollars, the best traders in the world return 25% per year. And some of you guys know that. So you're like, how are you doing 15% per week? Because I don't have a lot of the other obligations that they have to do in order for trading. I don't have the other requirements that they have to do in terms of diversification and all this other type of stuff that they have to do. I can trade my money, okay? And so because of that, I don't have to be as much of a shotgun. I could be more of a sniper, and it allows me to get these types of returns. So what happens is we're going to change that to 15%, and it says daily interest rate, but in this scenario, we're converting our daily interest rate to actually a weekly goal. So what does that mean? That means that we're talking about getting 15% growth per week. Okay? So on a $200 account, you'd be looking to grow $30. Okay, you'd be looking to make $6 per day. Okay, so when you see that and you hear that at the start, you're like, how is that ever? That Freedom number is going to take me forever. Is because you don't understand compound interest. And so 3% a day is absolutely staggering what that does over time. Okay. And I'm not going to take the time tonight. I'll do it on another day to actually show you what a 5-year total encompassed trading plan does. And maybe you do that after you've gotten your Freedom number and you put together a real 5-year plan in order to really build significant wealth. You can have multiple accounts, one towards real estate investment, one towards hedging the economy by buying gold and silver, you can have different accounts for different things, and you can begin to grow all of those accounts yourself. If I were to show you how you could, right now, if you got a child that's 10 years old or less, and how you could actually fund their college education with one trade a day. You wouldn't believe me, but it's based off math. It's absolutely factual. One trade a day. By the time they went to college, they would never have to worry about any, whatever college your child got into, you could pay for. You wouldn't have to have that conversation. Well, honey, I know you got into Harvard, but daddy works at the steel mill, right? Like daddy works at the car lot. I sell cars for a living. There ain't no Harvard money over here, right? I hope you got a scholarship with that. You wouldn't have to have that conversation because you could help them and you could develop that income for them by just trading one trade a day. More importantly, you could teach them how to do it from the time they're 10 years old or above, and they could actually do it themselves, but that's another story altogether. So we got the daily interest rate, which is going to become a weekly interest rate, a weekly interest rate. And then the length of term in days, we're actually going to change that really to weeks. So it's not going to actually be a day, but it's going to be a week, okay? Because our interest rate is much higher because we're talking about 15% for the week. That means also we're looking at per week. And so what I'd like you to do is submit to 6 or 7 months, something along that range that would allow you to look at where you could go in the next 6 to 7 months. So let's just call it 30 weeks. And let's see what happens. Remember, for us in this scenario, right, our freedom number was what? Our freedom number was 10,000. Let me see if I can get this to share. I don't want the whiteboard. Stop going to the whiteboard. Our freedom number was 10. No. Our freedom number was 10,000, okay? Let's just say that. Our freedom number was 10,000. And so what we have here is, let's see, we want to reinvest all of our money on this account and we want to not include weekends. And let's calculate it. And as we scroll down, we see that if we were to do this, hold on one second, folks. Give me 1 second. I'm going to come back to you. Nope. If I were to do this, okay, you notice that my $200 turned into $13,000. What did I need for my freedom number? $10,000. Okay. So in this case, I was able to turn $200 in roughly 7 months into $13,000, which is actually $3,000 more than what I need, which gives me a little extra protection, risk management, right? In order to be able to create my freedom number, which would allow me to get my 200 pips and my $2,000 a week. Now, what do? I can take the $1,000 a week for myself and put $1,000, and I can continue to grow my account every single month so that my account gets bigger, which means my lot size can now increase, which means I can continue to make more and more and more money, even though I only need 1,000. You can figure those things out. But what happens is this becomes a sacred journey, right? This is what you want to do. This is you taking your freedom into your own hands. You didn't have to build an organization for this. You didn't have to go and face your fear of having your friend tell you no, he doesn't want to join. You didn't have to say I didn't want to tell someone on Facebook about network marketing because I was scared they might judge me, even though I've never friggin' met them in my entire life. You didn't have to do any of those things in order to get free. What you had to do was educate yourself. Come in here and get into the academy, get part of the wealth community, have some conversations, get with me and say, Dre, how do you really do this? Walk me through this process. And then this is how you get free. So then here's what happens, right? Now you've got that, and it's literally showing you what? It's literally like here, on week 1, you have to make $30. On week 2, you make $34.50, and you continue to move, and you can continue to move down this process. Once you've got a week and you completed it, you knock it off. If you didn't quite reach the $30 for that week, it's okay. If it took you 9 months instead of 7, you'd still be okay being free, wouldn't you? And then you come in here and you next week, you just knock it off. It's telling you exactly what you need to be and exactly what your account balance needs to be to promote you. It's literally a step-by-step game plan, step-by-step game plan to walk you to freedom. Now, we have a lot of unrest in this society right now. Most of it is not only due to systemic racism, but that systemic racism has also left underdevelopment in underserved communities, and they are economically depressed. That is part of the outrage: opportunity, lack of advancement, lack of things. Not only just police brutality. This all goes together. They don't own their own communities. They don't own the shops. You wonder why they burn it down. They don't own it. Okay. And so the reason they don't own it is because of the systemic nature and the lack of underdevelopment. And look, you can now take control of your destiny. I'm not going to break down all that for you guys tonight. We can go into a serious class on that, but we won't do it today. But what I'm telling you is you have control. For those of you who come from those communities, you don't have to point the finger and say, you need to give. Will you grant me? Will you help? You don't need to do that no more. No. All you need is a smartphone and an internet connection. Get you a little trading plan. Get you a little income compound interest sheet. Go ahead and mark yourself off week by week. For those of you who are part of our community right now, who might be on this or might see this later, and you're nervous about, sharing the fact that we have a network marketing business and sharing this opportunity with people because you're scared of the judgment. When they give you the judgment, ask them what's their trading plan. Ask them what's their freedom plan. What are they doing week by week? And then you go back and show them, hey, listen, you know what, you're right. I haven't made a lot of money. You know what, I've only turned my account, from $200 into $400, but I'm on week 7 of my process, on week 7 of my plan. Do you have a plan? Oh, you don't? You're 42 years old and you don't have a plan and you're financially struggling and been struggling for 22 years. Don't you think you need a plan? See, it allows you to take back control and have the posture, because the fact of the matter is most people don't know this. Most people don't know this, because if they knew it, they would apply it. Well, that's not true, because we also know we're not supposed to eat Twinkies, and we also know that we're supposed to cut down on certain things, and we're not, but we do it anyway. So doesn't mean that we would apply it, but it would be more common knowledge. Folks, this is powerful. What I just showed you is powerful. If you use this, if you've already got financial discipline and you've sort of managed that and gotten yourself where you were out of debt anyway, okay? But you might not be free from your job, but you might like what you do. You can use this same plan to create investment money for that you to put in stocks and buy stuff. Do you guys understand that when this second wave hits, do you understand right now they're about to allow people to start filing for for your houses? They're about to be able to evict people. They're about to start doing all of this type of foreclosing on houses. They're about to lift that sort of moratorium. Do you understand what's going to happen to the housing market? Do you understand the fire sale that's about to happen? If you had cash at hand, if you had created some kind of cash cow that was liquid that you had access to, what could you do in terms of accumulating wealth for your family going forward? What could you do in terms of impacting the community, even if you wanted to buy some of that stuff and be able to, instead of gentrify a community, allow the community to be able to re-access that stuff for a profit for you, but at a price that after all this crisis is over, that they could afford and that they could impact and that they can continue to use. There's so many things that you could do when you create a cash cow. Right now, folks, you can create a cash cow or you can get your freedom number. Your freedom number is epic. Your freedom number is sacred. Your freedom count, the idea that you can get free. Do you know what it means for me as a former activist to have another Black man come to me this past year and tell me that thank you because of what you showed me, I'm a free man? Oh my God. Oh my God. That man, you can't tell me nothing about what I'm doing right now. The fact that I was able to free another brother, I didn't do it, he did it, right? But the point is that I was able to play a small part in that process. You can't tell me what it's like to have someone come and say, man, thank you, because of you sticking with me, I got hope. I got hope. Folks, this right here is more than hope. It's hope times action equals freedom. It's hope times math equals freedom. It's hope times, please listen to what I'm saying. Stop fooling yourself. The economy ain't getting better. If you're looking forward to a stimulus check, you need this plan. I hope that makes sense for you folks. I went about an hour. I wanted to try to do less than that, but when I start talking about something as passionate as this, I can't help myself, right? I can't help myself because this is important to me. This is important to me. It's why it's why I share. It's why I care. You know, there's a lot of people hurting, and a lot of people don't have an answer. They haven't figured it out. And you know what? You can only share as much as you can, and people sometimes it's bad timing. Sometimes they're just not ready to hear. Uh, but when you come over here, not only do you have the academy, but you're going to have a lot of people who care. You're going to have mentorship from people like Randy and Wanda Webb, people like Paulo Kello on our team. You're going to have mentorship from the different people within your organization. You're going to have mentorship from Sakina and Nafis and, you know, all the different leaders, Edwin Pender, and, you know, I could go on, Lillian Okado and Bernard and Ann out of Kenya. You're going to have people that have the secret sauce that you've never had before. And that secret sauce is simply this, folks. Most of the time, you align yourself with people who have no vested interest in whether or not you succeed or not. I'm going to say that again. Most of your life, you have aligned yourself with people who have no vested interest in whether or not you succeed. In fact, most of them are thankful that you don't exceed too far above them, because usually that would mean that you transitioned out of their circle, or if you stayed in their circle, you would be showing them up. And so they're not really rooting for you. Having people that have a vested interest in your success, even the people that aren't in the direct lineage of your organization in our community, have a direct vested interest in helping you succeed. Why? Because your success is proof of what we're doing is working. It gives them a tangible story to tell someone that they know that might also be a public speaker, or maybe someone they also know that might be a stay-at-home dad, or maybe it's a truck driver, or maybe it's someone who works at Coca-Cola, or maybe it's an entrepreneur that was tired of being shackled to their job. Or I said their job because if you're self-employed, it's really just a job that you own. But you understand what I'm saying. And now that story is able to maybe allow them to impact a few more people's lives, because there's so many people in our community that is one of their biggest passions, is just to be able to say, I played a small part. I was able to affect some change in not only a person's life, but maybe a community. Maybe together we banded together and we made a difference. And that's what we're looking for, is people that see that vision, that people who just say, hey, listen, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Enough is enough. I'm willing to take on a solution. I'm willing to participate in my own rescue. Forget all the cliche stuff, but that's true. I understand that I've been focusing on my problems for the last 20 years of my life, and because that's what I focused on, they expanded. And that if I just took some time now going forward and I began to focus on the solution, then the solution would expand and it would engulf my problems, meaning that I'd be living a life of solution. I'd be living a proactive life instead of a reaction life. Folks, this stuff is powerful. Get your freedom number, focus on it, treat it sacredly, give it 8 months of tension, of hyper focus, and see if it doesn't change your life. I'm done, folks. I hope you had a great time tonight. I appreciate those of you who are on Facebook Live. Absolutely love being with you, and we'll do more of these in the future. Okay? Everybody have a great evening.